It was almost 2 miles from the road end of the farm to the school. The 5-year-old, fatherless and raised by his granny, walked it each day, there and back. It became 3 miles when we moved to another farm when I was 7, but I had a bike then, says Neil Simpson, now 64. One bad winter I was trapped by snow on the farm for 2 weeks. He adds, I suppose it gives you resilience. Life was to give him much more. There were the spectacular baubles of footballing success, including 2 European medals, and the gift of children, grandchildren and eventually a father found through dogged detective work. The story of Simpson is marked by a tackle and gilded by professional success, but it also involves a childhood where money was scarce, father and mother were absent, and football was not just an obsession but, perhaps, a refuge. He makes light of all this. I had a happy childhood, he says. Yet he also remembers queuing for the free meal tickets at school and facing the questions about where and who his dad was. Later life had its traumas, too. His newborn son was hospitalized with meningitis. He was involved in a fatal crash when a vehicle served to avoid another and hit Simpson's car. We all sat in the ambulance together and everyone seemed fine, he says. I rang the garage the next day to get an update on my car. It was a write-off, of course. But the mechanic said he was sorry about the other chap. I said, what? He told me the other guy had died of internal bleeding. There are, of course, the bright moments in his life, and those are not restricted to his spectacular success on the football field. He speaks with a smile of flying in an RAF jet and being made a cup of coffee by Zara Phillips, daughter of Princess Anne, when he visited Gordonston. But, after reading his book and chatting to him in person, it is impossible to stray too far away from that boy at the road end, plunging into the wider world without a mum or dad. It was not hard or soft, it was just a life, he says. This, one suspects, is Simpson at his most defiant, even if it is said in the gentlest of tones. The lad raised on Aberdeenshire farms in Cluny, then Newmarket, was born in England. I worried about that a wee bit when it became clear I was going to represent my country and play for Aberdeen in European competitions, he says. This concern dissipated when he found he qualified without having to find his father. Being born in England was also no barrier. He was born in St. Margaret's Unmarried Mothers Hostel in London. Father not stated. His granny, Joan Thompson, came from the farm to take him and his mother back home. It was a different time. When you do research, you find that babies were just handed over to people with minimum paperwork. Simpson stayed with his family. When we went back to the farm, my uncle saw me and wondered if I was the neighbor's child. My granny told him it was my mother's and he was an uncle. This was the world of the 60s where secrets were kept and questions not asked. His father's identity was a mystery. See, when you were a kid you didn't look at any of it. Kids would say they hadn't ever seen my dad or whatever, but it didn't bother me then. Later in life my mum married my stepdad and that is why I didn't push to find out who was my dad. It's a Northeast thing, don't ask these questions. His professional life was bolstered and heavily influenced by strong men, Alex Ferguson, Archie Knox and the irrepressible Teddy Scott, who was the heart and soul of Aberdeen in a variety of roles. But Granny Thompson was his protector and keeper. The Fian market moved us from farm to farm, he says of the almost feudal system that held sway over farm workers. She had 4 children, she worked hard, it wasn't an easy life. The farm servants were down the chain. Life was fueled on plates of mince and tatties, and his life revolved around games of football. The matters of identity only surfaced in adulthood after his mother died. That's what started the search, he says of the quest to find his father. An address of the back of his birth certificate revealed where he had been born. Further investigations into DNA and ancestry led him to a man, now approaching 85, in the Borders. They took the tests and they were positive. A couple of weeks ago my father said he had been rummaging about his loft and found a program for an England v Scotland game. He recalled what a great time he and his mates had by going to the game. I told him, "I played in that match. You were watching your son without knowing it." The relationship is growing stronger. It has rounded off my life, says Simpson. He sits, appropriately, in the Legends Lounge at Pittodrie. He spent 35 years at the club as player and coach. He now works as an executive with a metal processing company but is forever a Don. I still get approached by folk remembering me as a player, he admits. 4 separate people came up to me yesterday. The tackle on Durant in 1988 has marked him as a villain among Rangers fans. However, he is an enduring local hero, and not just for his part in 2 titles, 3 Scottish Cups, a League Cup, European Cup Winners' Cup and European Super Cup. Oh, and don't forget the 2 Tennent's sixes, he reminds me. Anyone who watched him play was impressed. He was technically excellent, but his commitment to the cause was obvious. I once played 5 reserve games in 5 days. We played twice in a day. Records show I played every moment in every game. His love of football found an initial outlet at Middlefield Boys Club, where he was part of a team that won the British 5A sides. But it never left him.